Good evening. I'd like to call this February 13th, 2024 Radford City Schools School Board meeting open. Can we please have a moment of silence? Thank you so much. Please join me in our Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Joyce, will you lead us this evening, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Has everyone gotten a chance to look at the agenda for this evening?
Yes.
Can I have a motion to approve the agenda, please?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And our school and student showcase. Dr. Joyce, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you. This is a new agenda item that we've added lately, and it gives us a chance to showcase what our schools are up to as well as what our students are up to. And tonight's agenda will include the fact that we are recognizing February as VSBA School Board and School Board Clerk Appreciation Month. So if you'll indulge me, I'm going to read the School Board Appreciation Month proclamation. Whereas school board members are elected to represent the interests of students, teachers, parents, and other stakeholders, and whereas school boards play a vital role in ensuring that students across the Commonwealth have access to a high-quality, rigorous education and are best positioned to uphold educational excellence in Virginia's schools, and whereas school boards are the governing bodies responsible for the oversight, success, and effectiveness of school systems across the Commonwealth, and whereas local school board members work with parents, businesses, education professionals, and other community members to create a shared vision of success for students, and whereas these decisions affect the present and future lives of children and chart a path to prepare all students to become competitive in a local, state, national, and global 21st century knowledge economy, and whereas School Board Appreciation Month acknowledges the contributions, dedication, and service of Virginia's local school board members, now, therefore, I, Glenn Youngkin, do hereby recognize February 2024 as School Board Appreciation Month in our Commonwealth of Virginia, and I call this observance to the attention of all our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Also, along that same note, we have a few more things to get to, not the least of which are our School Board Appreciation Month certificates that will be awarded to each board member. So if I may, Ms. Jenny Wright.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Ray. Sir. Ms. Gloria Boyd. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Calfee. Thank you. And Ms. Swing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So a lot of folks have asked me, who have you been leaning on lately to take care of you early on? So that brings up this next certificate. That's Ms. Carrie Long. She's my go-to. The bad part about that is Ms. Long's office is right next door to mine. So no matter what my problem is, it always ends up in her lap. Our deputy clerk, Ms. Cindy Blankenship, was unable to be here with us tonight, but she also is being recognized. And now that brings me to the fun part. So there are a lot of folks responsible for the gifts that you see in front of you. These are for our school board members. And I've written them down. I think I've got it right. Mr. Cody Roberts was responsible for the design of these gifts. Mr. McPeak and his folks actually did the labor to cut them out and make them presentable. And then Miss Gibbons was responsible for the flowers around each gift. So on behalf of the CTE folks at the high school, these are your gifts to be presented to you tonight.
Wow.
And if you would like, we'll come around and take pictures. How about that?
Sounds great. Thank you so much. These are
Wow.
beautiful.
Daniel. So So we'll just find our letter and stand next to it.
Okay.
Can we have the staff and the students, are there students?
Absolutely. Mr. Roberts, Mr. McPeak. Can we have a round of applause for what a wonderful job this is?
Get up here, little woman.
Well, get next to you.
Come on up. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, see, they're going to be situated. Okay. Right. Swings. I should have unhooked myself.
You know, I did. I was afraid. So.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
I guess we'll just. Oh, you like them there?
Sure.
Thank you. Isn't that awesome? It is beautiful. Yeah, nice. Are these kids? Oh. Okay. So, I thought of a way to make this meeting about as good as it could be, and I thought food and fellowship and recognizing our teachers of the year, along with our board members. So, if we can all, indulge me again in having a lot of fun to begin with, that would be great. So, let's move now to Teacher of the Year recognitions, and I have asked that the principals from each of the schools approach the podium and talk just a little bit about their Teacher of the Year from their school. So at this time, I would like have you guys decided who's going first? Okay, so Dr. Green has volunteered to go first from McCard. Thank you.
All right, so members of the board, Dr. Joyce, Ms. Denny, and community members and families, it is a great privilege for me to stand before each of you this evening to share with you all the wonderful things about the Teacher of the Year at McCarg, who is Miss Lindsay Lesko, who is right here. So Miss Lesko currently serves as a first grade teacher at McCarg, and she is an integral part of our staff. One of the most remarkable things about Ms. Lesko is her positive attitude, and I'm sure you all saw her smiling right when you saw her this evening. She shows up each day with that same smile on her face and genuine enthusiasm for teaching. Her ability to create a warm and welcoming classroom environment is truly remarkable, and all of her students thrive under her guidance. As a literacy leader in our school, Ms. Lesko consistently seeks out opportunities to incorporate best practices into her teaching. So she's always eager to learn and grow. She includes seeking out professional development like our letters training to enhance her instructional practices within the classroom. She's committed to staying up to date with the latest research in the science of reading and other teaching approaches in which she creates a dynamic and engaging learning environment for her students. Ms. Lesko is also committed to fostering a culture of leadership at our school, and that is evident in her role on our leadership team for the 22-23 school year and her current involvement on a new team we have, which is our advanced tiers team. And because of that work, one of her most admirable qualities is her advocacy for all students, particularly those with disabilities. So she goes above and beyond to ensure that every single student in her classroom has access and support to resources they need to thrive. Ms. Lesko's dedication to inclusive education really sets a powerful example to all of her colleagues, and she's had a profound impact on the lives of her students. Ms. Lesko's also been an active member of the Radford City Innovation Team, where she works to bring innovative teaching methods and resources to our students. She also serves as a member on the New River Valley chapter of the Virginia State Literacy Association, and she serves as the secretary on this. Her dedication and passion for literacy education are truly inspiring. So, in addition to her involvement with VSLA, she's also made significant contributions to our school. In conclusion, Ms. Lindsay Lesko is an exceptional educator who embodies the qualities of a Teacher of the Year. We are very proud of her hard work and dedication and appreciate her so much. Thank you all.
Hello, everyone. I'm here and very excited to announce Miss Robin Hoosier was Bell Heath Elementary's Teacher of the Year this year. When I think about quality teachers, I think about two big things. One is, do you have that skill set that a teacher needs to have, and then do you have the passion? And sometimes, especially with some of our younger teachers, we see the passions there and that skill set's developing. Miss Hoosier really is the best of both worlds. She brings an elite level skill set for her teacher toolbox. She's got all those things in that toolbox, but also just that overwhelming passion for kids every day. I actually pulled a couple kids from her class to ask, why is Miss Hoosier the Teacher of the Year? Why is she so special? And here was two of my favorites. First, she makes learning fun, and I know that she loves me, you know, in the same statement. And then, just like a fifth grader would say, she cares about us, like not just our grades, but about us. One of the most popular lessons that Miss Hoosier did with her class this year was the recycling advertisements. In this activity, the class studied recycling, and the culminating project, they actually created commercials. And Dr. Collins and I were actually walking through the building when this was happening, and for about 10 minutes, we stopped being principal, stopped being superintendent, and we were just spectators as one by one kids came out and did their commercial right there in the hallway. She also advocated for it to be on the news, and even when I forgot to put it on the news, Miss Hoosier followed up the next day and said, hey, our kids were waiting. Why wasn't the commercials on the news? So not only is she a great teacher, she's a great advocate. She's also well known for her demonstrations. To teach erosion, Miss Hoosier used graham crackers and whipped cream to teach plate movement, and when I talked to a separate student, I didn't know them because I'm not a science person, but they knew all the technological lingo that went along with that. Ms. Hoosier has incredibly high expectations for her student. Every student, no matter what they got on their previous year's SOL, she expects every kid to pass and believes in them. And she, does everything she can to do that. She teaches every second of every day with high rigor, and I mean every second of every day. Like we were just talking today about, she had 2 plannings and she wants to tutor during both plannings. Thank goodness we just recently started paying for tutoring, because if her whole career we've paid her for her tutoring, then she would already be retired and on a yacht somewhere. We could go on and on about all the ways Ms. Hoosier contributes to the Bell Heath School community. She's a big advocate and cheerleader for any program that we do. Her colleagues look up to her. Teaching is an art form, and when you go into Ms. Hoosier's class, it really is kind of a masterpiece. It is amazing to see what goes on there. So Ms. Hoosier, we are so lucky to have you at our school, and we really appreciate you.
Dr. Joyce, Ms. Denny, members of the board, thank you for having us here tonight and recognizing our Teachers of the Year. I must be tall. In a school full of outstanding teachers, I could think of no better teacher to be chosen by our faculty as Teacher of the Year than Ms. Dye. Ms. Dye has a passion for educating children that is evident every single day, as well as her genuine love for students. Ms. Dye has been working in public education for 22 years and has served in Radford City Schools for 8 years. During her 8 years at DIS, Ms. Dye has taught Math 7, Math 8, and Algebra 1. She has also been a math enrichment teacher and helped remediate students who need extra assistance in math. Ms. Dye is also our math department expert when it comes to benchmark, SGA, and SOL data. She's department chair and is responsible for compiling all this data for all of our math students that helps guide instruction for all of our math teachers to plan, teach, and then remediate students. Ms. Dye has all the time gone above and beyond expectations of our profession by volunteering to serve on numerous committees and innovation teams. She was the co-chair of our PBIS innovation team. She was a member of our scheduling innovation team. She's worked on innovation for STEAM in our schools. Ms. Dye has been instrumental this year in mentoring a new math teacher that has joined our DIS team. This year we implemented the All-In Virginia Tutoring Program, and Ms. Dye took it upon herself to prepare lessons for all of our teachers to use that are working with children who are struggling in math and making up for learning loss. While observing Ms. Dye in the classroom, one quickly notices the many different approaches that she utilizes. She's an expert in whole group instruction and allows her students to experience growth and success through implementing small group and individual practice in her instruction. She allows her students to problem solve on their own, yet provides them support when necessary. Ms. Dye is able to differentiate her instruction to meet the needs of various learning styles and the needs of all the intermediate school students. Most importantly, Ms. Dye exemplifies an outstanding teacher through the relationships that she's able to form with her students. It is common to find Ms. Dye after hours or during lunch working with students to help them be successful. And being a parent of two students that have had Ms. Dye, I've seen firsthand the impact that she's made on them as young adults and as students. I'm proud to have Tammy as part of our DIS team, and she exemplifies everything that a great teacher should be. Ms. Dye.
So short. All right, so I am here to introduce the Radford High School Teacher of the Year, Mr. John Ferguson. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all the nominees, very well deserved by the whole group. So I have to step back and thank every once in a while because Mr. Ferguson has only been with us a mere, I wouldn't even say 2 whole years yet. I had the pleasure of working with him when he was at Bell Heath. We hired him. He worked for a year. He transitioned to another profession for a little while. We won't talk about where he went, but decided to come back, and we graciously accepted him back at the high school. I would have to say there's probably no teachers that have taught at the elementary level, well, not many teachers, I have to say that, and also at the high school level as well. But John is a leader within our school. In the short time he's been there, John has consistently demonstrated commitment to our students' academic and personal development. His impacts extend beyond the classroom, encompassing civic and community involvement that is truly commendable. One example that sets Mr. Ferguson apart is his dedication and his support for our students at local events, whether it be athletic competitions or academic challenges. John consistently attends these events, fostering positive relationships, and demonstrates his genuine interest in the well-being of our students. John also has a young family at home, but still makes time for the students in his classroom. His presence at these events serves as a testament to his commitment to building and strengthening connections within our school community. Also, John plays a crucial role in school leadership as a member of the RHS Building Leadership Team. His involvement in his capacity showcases his ability to collaborate with colleagues, contribute valuable insights, and actively participate in shaping the direction of our school. I look to him as a colleague and a friend. John also serves as the RHS liaison for the REA and co-advises our RHS Student Council Association. These leadership roles further display his dedication to the overall success and welfare of our Bobcats. When asked about his inspiration to remain in the teaching field, Mr. Ferguson shares a deep passion for helping students learn new material and positively influencing their lives. His words resonate with the daily reality I witness as the principal of Radford High School. John's commitment to developing strong relationships with students and encouraging them to reach their full potential is not only evident in his words, but in his actions. I firmly believe that when you walk through the halls of RHS and ask students who their favorite teachers is, you would hear Mr. Ferguson's name many times. And actually, you would probably hear Fergie. John wants what's best for our students, and it is evident by his words, action, and dedication. So congratulations, John Ferguson, for Radford High School's nominee for Teacher of the Year.
So at this time, thank you all very much for that, for those presentations. I think at this time, if we could we come back around and have our 4 Teachers of the Year photographed with the school board members, please. And while they're coming up, I want to thank Ms. Denny. She was very instrumental in putting this together for us tonight. And these 4 are now in the running for Teacher of the Year for the division. And we have a team of retired teachers that are looking over their applications at this time. And we'll have an announcement about that very soon. So good luck to all 4 on that regard.
Could we do one with the principals and their teachers, too, like the school board can hop out? So I want to celebrate these principals who are the leaders in their school, school buildings. It fosters the growth of these teachers. Thank you all so much.
So also under our school and student showcase agenda item, we would like to welcome Ms. Bella Calfee, the Radford High School SCA president, to the podium. Ms. Calfee?
Thank you, and good evening. So RHS has been a buzz, as we can certainly tell from tonight, with numerous events and successes. Our Bobcat swimmers attended regions recently, and our female swimmers were first in the region, and our male swimmers were second in the region. They are headed out to states tomorrow, so we wish them all the luck. Not that they need it, they are a feather in the cap of RHS for sure, as we have long asked exactly who said cats can't swim. We've proven that wrong numerous times. Our boys basketball team is going strong, so good luck to them with the remainder of their season. I'd also like to send some well wishes to our varsity girls who are taking on the Floyd County Buffaloes tonight, as well as our JV team. Finishing up with the athletics, our wrestling team is sending 7 wrestlers to states this weekend. And in those lists, I've got them out here. In the 138 weight class, we have Jackson Gilbert, who placed second in regions. 157 was Taven Williams, who was the champion. 165 was Lance Duncan, who was second. 175 was Cole Martin, who was also second. 190 was Dawson Martin in second. 215 was Charlie Davis, who was a champion. 285 was Ricky Bailey in second place. And a congratulations is also in order to Jacob Lewis, who finished 5th at regions in the 132-pound weight class. They finished 4th as a team. And our lady wrestlers are also headed off to states in the coming weeks, so good luck to the Bobcat wrestling team. They do us proud. I'd like to also recognize our outstanding forensics team by reading the long announcement posted to the Bobcat Theater Company page, which I was so thrilled to see come up. So it read, "Congratulations to our forensics team for winning the Region 2C championship today, or competition today, excuse me. A special congratulations to our students who will be moving on to the super regions in March. Second place was impromptu. Kate Deshawn, please forgive me for any names I butcher. First place in prose was Princeton Stevens. First place original oratory was Abby Napolitano. First place storytelling was Caroline Pappas. Second place storytelling, Jay Anziani, I really hope that was right. You got it. Third place poetry, Ashante White. First place serious interp was Mickey Barron. First place humorous interp, Ali Shapizi. Second place humorous interp, Jackson Barnett. First place humorous duo, Colin Barron and James Reif. First place dramatic duo, Seth Barron and Olivia Spalding. Third place dramatic duo, Kate Woinski and Lewis Johnson. So a huge congratulations to all of them. Speaking of our theater department, if this dreary weather the past couple days has put you in the mood for a good mystery, our Bobcat actors and actresses will be putting on a rendition of Clue this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A production of Into the Woods is also into the works. So that's always a phenomenal showing anytime they do anything. Our MAC and Scholastic Bowl teams made it to the sub-regions, so we send our congratulations to them as well. Our band department is gearing up for another night filled with musical talent, and we invite you to join them. On the 27th of this month, they have prepared pieces from several moments in history, going back to the times of medieval castles and fast forwarding to the 60s to rock with the Beatles and everything in between. Our Model General Assembly Conference group has prepared 4 bills, and those topics for the 2024 conference have been solidified finally. And we will have bills on closed circuit TV for youth victims, absentee ballots, family life curriculum reform, and agricultural internships requirements. Lastly, I'd like to take the opportunity to give a massive congratulations and thank you to the phenomenal CTE department. Mrs. Givens, Mr. McPeak, Mrs. Edwards, Mr. Mook, Mrs. Young, Mr. Burton, Ms. Lawson, Mr. Roberts, and Mr. Compton have all been individually working on phenomenal projects since we saw you last. And I am thrilled for you all to see them firsthand this evening, so please enjoy them. We certainly enjoyed that we got to make them for you. I'd also like to take the liberty to emphasize the top-of-the-line quality of educators that you had before you tonight as they join us. They have the love and admiration of all their students, I assure you, and they would probably be thoroughly embarrassed that I have put them out on the stage, but it's probably good they're gone now. So speaking of teachers, just want to take a side note and say the Teachers of the Year are so phenomenal. My personal congratulations go to Mr. Ferguson and Ms. Dye. I had them both, and I had Mr. Ferguson with SCA and Mrs. Dye in the classroom, and they're both just phenomenal educators. So you know it's a good night when I had almost 3 pages, actually full 3 pages. As always, the RHS Bobcast is a good place and resource for you to keep up with the Bobcats in between these meetings. You can find that on YouTube at RHS BOBCAST anytime. Again, we think it's clever. We post daily about midday once our wicked talented editors put the finishing touches on. They're always super funny, and we enjoy making those as well. So have a great night and a wonderful Valentine's Day with loved ones, and as always, go Bobcats.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the question is, how did Bella get my notes? Because she read things that I was going to read much better than I was going to read them. But I do want to call attention to Mr. Mook and Bev Edwards and Tina Young for all the work that went into the reception. The food was delicious, and we appreciate that very much. That's all I have.
All right, thank you so much. Moving on to our consent items. Has everyone gotten a chance to look over the minutes from last month?
Yes.
And our superintendent's authority to appoint personnel between meetings. Our bills and petty cash reports. We've got our student activities. Looks like we've got a couple extras in our packets. And our use of school facilities, there's some extra ones in there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anything else? Do I have a motion to approve the consent items?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you so much. All right, our information items. Reports, requests, and/or comments by students, school personnel, and/or the public. This part of the meeting is reserved for public comments regarding items on our agenda or in regards to Radford City Schools. It is your opportunity to address the board. You're requested to keep your comments polite and courteous. Thank you. Speakers are asked to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect of the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. Speakers should be aware that they may be held legally responsible if they make statements that violate the legal rights of others. For example, if statements are made that are defamatory or threatening. Complaints about specific school personnel are best addressed to school administration, who will address those concerns as appropriated through existing board complaint procedures. Please remember that you cannot mention specific student names during public comments. Comments likely to disrupt the board's work or prompt a breach of peace are prohibited, and the speaker will be called out of order by the board chair. Please remember that debate during public comments is prohibited. For the record, please state your name and address. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker at school board meetings. Electronically submitted comments will not be read at the meeting, but they will be included in the minutes for public record. And before we move on to our podium, I just wanted to clarify, I know that there was some questions. We received an email today from a community member and parent who was asking about electronically submitted public comments and if they would be continued to be read aloud during our meetings. So just a little history. We used to only have public comments here in person, and then COVID happened, and we adjusted because we couldn't have folks here in the room with us. And so we wanted to make sure we still gave opportunity for community members to be able to have their public comments heard by the board. And so we created a form online for folks to be able to use, which continues today. And we made the decision to move forward and continue to take those public comments. They're received by Ms. Long, who makes sure that all of our school board members receive a copy so that we can receive the comment and do with it what is needed. And then it is included in our minutes for public record. So we encourage people to continue to come in person if they would like to speak to the board, and we encourage people who are unable to attend to be assured that their comments are being read and are included in the public comments. Thank you so much. If anyone wishes to make comments, please come to the podium at this time. We'll start with Jacob Weingartner.
It was a perfect intro to what I have to say. So this was a letter that was submitted
sorry.
previously.
Can you-
Oh, sorry. My name's Jacob Weingartner. I live at 32 Grandview Drive.
Thank you.
So I was asked by a member of the community who had submitted this letter previously electronically to read it out loud. So I'm going to do that. Virginia school board members, as elected officials, are expected to serve with integrity, earning the public's trust as they carry out their duties. The most important act of their entire tenure is following the Virginia School Board Association's code of conduct that each of you on this current board and present tonight adopted and signed on January 9th, 2024. All of you agreed to follow the code's 12 tenets. 2 of those are especially important. Number 1 states, I will have integrity in all manners and support the full development of all children and the welfare of the community, commonwealth, and nation. Number 9 states, I will refrain from using the board position for personal or partisan gain and avoid any conflict of interest or the appearance of impropriety. Webster defines impropriety as a failure to observe standards or show due honesty or modesty, improper language, behavior, or character. One of you has failed miserably in keeping these promises to the students in Radford City Schools, specifically numbers 1 and 9 that I just quoted. As you march into the Radford High School band with the high school band at a November 2023 football game, you purposefully and with malice yelled, "Who let him in?" to a Radford citizen and Bobcat fan that was invited to by some Bobcat football players. This disrespectful behavior was heard not only by your targeted fan, Mr. Rob Graham, Radford's highly respected and loved former school superintendent, but other adults and impressionable students. Mr. Graham, as a private citizen, has every right to attend any and all Bobcat sporting events of his choosing. Shame on you, Mr. Calfee. Shame on you for such childish and poor behavior. Our children deserve better. That's it.
Thank you. All right, let's see. Next we have Ms. Liz Altieri.
My name is Liz Altieri. I live at 2308 8th Street, Radford. I'm speaking today as a private citizen, but I also am a former school board member and a soon-to-be retired educator, and a community member who cares deeply about Radford City Schools. I want to welcome you, Dr. Joyce. We're so pleased you have been chosen to lead our school division. I've had the pleasure of working with you when you were a principal in Pulaski County, and as a member of the doctoral faculty at Radford University, proud to have you as an alum, as Dr. Joyce. Here's my wish for you and my hopes for your tenure. I'd like you to take the best of what was started and built by previous school leaders, and then build your own vision. Please continue making innovation a priority. Radford City Schools is really known for that. And we have been going great places, and we hope you'll continue that. Build strong relationships with all families. We have become a very diverse community, and it's really important that all families that we connect with them and we bring them into our school family. I ask you to make Radford a truly inclusive school division. We've made some great starts there. I'd like you to be a strong leader. Listen to the community. Investigate and use the untapped resources of this community, which are many. Make communication with students, teachers, and families, and your very young leadership team a priority. And last, I'd like to ask you to continue to collaborate with other school divisions and institutions of higher education to bring the very best resources to our students. Welcome, Dr. Joyce.
Thank you very much. All right, and that's what we have there. Moving on to the report of the superintendent.
Thank you very much. So we'll begin with draft of the 2024-2025 school calendar that's headed your way. Again, Ms. Denny did a ton of the legwork for this. It's very important work. It affects the entire community, so we do not take this calendar lightly. She has included input from all stakeholders, teachers especially, on a couple of occasions. So at this time, we're going to give you this as an information item. You'll see it again, but for now, page 1 is the calendar proper, and page 2 is the information that goes along with it. This will come up again as an as an action item, so if you'd like, we'll hold our questions until then. Next, I just want to remind you folks that Radford University, the Radford University Southwest Virginia High School Art Show on campus at Tyler Gallery is now through February 16th. So hustle and get by there if you haven't yet, and take a look at the art that's on display. We really appreciate our partnership with Radford University on lots of fronts, not the least of which this art show at Tyler Gallery. So if you can, go by and take a look. The enrollment report is, you have copies, you don't have copies? You do not, but we'll put it on the screen.
She'll pop it up there.
Okay. Were you guys able to look at that prior to, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's hard to compare January and December because of the short month, but our attendance percentage looks better for January, plus 0.7%, and that is something we keep a close eye on. And then enrollment is not too far off of what it was in December, plus 20, which is actually pretty good for 1 month's time, so we appreciate that. Everything else is pretty straightforward, but I'm glad to answer any questions you might have about this report.
Any questions? All right, thank you.
Okay, next up is our discipline incident report for the month of January 2024. Again, it was difficult to compare it to December until you realize that December is, a lot of kids have 1 foot out the door early on in December. But that being said, the numbers are still very reasonable and manageable, and the thanks goes to our building leaders and staff for the management of these kids in January. I'm very pleased with the numbers. There's always room for improvement, but these numbers are very reasonable. Questions about the incident report? Okay. I prepared a really quick slide for our budget update. Ms. Long and I have spent a lot of hours working on our budget and what that might look like coming up. I don't have a lot of information to share, but I do have some bullet points I'd like to bring to your attention. This year we have started what I hope is a long-lasting tradition of having 2 board members meet with myself and Ms. Long to talk about the budget that's forthcoming. And I appreciate Mr. Calfee and Ms. Boyd for helping me with that, as well as Ms. Long. We were able to talk about a lot of things that we will consider when we build the final product, but I appreciate them spending a couple of hours with us last week. State of Virginia budget is a moving target. I know the crossover day is coming up, and you can hear all sorts of things from Richmond. What I'm hearing right now is that the governor's budget will not fly as is, but that might not be a bad thing for education in K-12. So we just wait and see. We build it off the governor's budget that he proposed in December, but knowing full well that could change before it's all said and done. And you remember last year, it wasn't all said and done until fall. So we're hoping that we don't have a repeat of that. But regardless, it is a moving target, and we try our best to use the numbers he's put forth to build our budget. We will have a health insurance increase, 6%. That news was delivered to us late last week, but we're not throwing in the towel. We haven't decided how to manage that 6% increase, so all options are on the table. That looks big from the surface, and it is, but there's hopefully ways that we can manage that, and we're looking at all options. We will get a little saving from the VRS. That gets complicated, and you don't need me to explain it to you. I hope you don't need me to explain it to you, or you're in big trouble. But we do look for some savings from the VRS formula. Our intent forms have been returned, so Ms. Shule and I and Ms. Long will be looking over our intent to see where teacher openings will be and how best to fill those so that our students are best served. And we'll also assess our Stride K-12 virtual enrollment and how that affects our bottom line coming up soon. So again, not a lot of solid things to report, but I did want you to know what we're looking at. We meet daily, and again, she has been so helpful and resourceful. Looking ahead, we're going to review the proposed budget from Richmond, hopefully sooner than later. But this is the long session. We understand that, so we'll be patient. And then we're going to examine building level and department requests that were on a Google sheet, been passed around through the division the last couple of weeks. I will say the principals have been very reasonable with their requests, and we're going to do our best to recognize and meet those requests. You can have about anything you want, but you can't have everything you want. Okay? Just remember that. Okay. Any questions about that thus far?
So the only thing set in stone is the 6% increase?
Yeah, the only thing in stone is the big increase.
And I'm interested to see how that works out. I really hate to pass that on to our employees, and I know everyone does.
Right. And there are options that would prevent that from happening, but I am very careful to not promise anything at this time. But there are quite a few ways to go about that. And when we get there, I would love to talk to the budget committee again and see what options they would most be interested in. Okay, any other questions? I'm glad to help as much as I can.
Well, of course, without answers, I know, our city council friends, always want to know, how are we looking? How are we looking? I get the call, monthly, I think, from Mayor Horton, making sure that we're within our budget for what we're going to ask them. And of course, the answer is right now, as best we are able,
Yes.
we're going to be within our budget.
Yes. Yes. I want to choose my words carefully.
Yes.
But I have seen worse. Okay? And this staff is to be commended for using the resources they've been given to do the best they can. And we would hope that would continue. But we're not panicked yet. I do have a meeting with Mr. Ridpath coming up, and he and I will talk about this very thing, I'm sure, among other things.
Excellent.
Other questions? And obviously, I'll know more as the weeks progress. And I hate to be so vague, but I just don't want anyone to start hanging their hat on something I say here. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. The RHS Stadium project update, I'm going to defer at this time. Thank you.
I know both of you are here.
Double trouble.
We're just splitting it up.
And while we work on the technology side, I want to just say it's been a pleasure to meet and work with both of you, Jack and Butch. They've been very resourceful, insightful, and ahead of schedule. So I hope that's still the case. I didn't ask you before I don't want to put you on the spot, but so far, I was there Friday morning and it looks gorgeous. And we are so looking forward to being able to have a seat in those bleachers.
We share that sentiment. We need a microphone too as well. Yes.
Yeah. Push the top button on the very top to turn it on. There you go.
All right. Oops. I'm good if I'm underneath. Let's try it this way. start over. Butch and I share those same sentiments. It's great to get a chance to meet with you, and the kind of transition meeting we had with Dr. Collins as well. And thank you and welcome to Radford, and look forward to great things to continue for the district as a whole. I think everybody knows Butch. Butch has been involved in working with Thompson Lytton for almost a year now, but he took over several of the high school projects. He's been instrumental in seeing those through construction through the summer and the fall, and there's just a few last things, and I'm going to let Butch update you all on those. And because I have so much fun with the stadium, I'm going to talk about that today and fill you in and give you kind of a pictorial of play-by-play, so to speak, of it all coming together. It's in great shape. As Dr. Joyce said, we are ahead of schedule. I wish I could take credit for that, but our contractors and the weather have really been cooperating. So, as I said, I'll talk about the stadium, and then Butch will fill us all in on the remaining projects there at the high school itself. Real quickly, overview of the stadium project itself. There's no missing parts. Everything, if it's not installed, it's on site. There was one thing, it actually arrived this morning. My understanding is the final connectors for the home side front railings. And when I drove by this evening, they almost had that all in place. So it's really trucking along at a great pace. They're expecting the home side will be wrapped up by this week. The remaining thing is that front rail and the skirt, and then the stair that needs to be installed on the side to get us down to track level. That's all that's remaining with the bleacher portion. The visitor side, all the structures in place. The aluminum panels are there, ready to be placed into place, and they are starting that today. Again, they're way ahead of schedule, about 75% complete, and that will probably be wrapped up within 2 weeks. Because of the weather, the site work has been able to really jump into things ahead of schedule. We've already placed concrete. Today they're pouring more concrete as long as the temperatures are above 32, or even if they were 32 and they're rising during the day, we can pour concrete, so we're in good shape with that. Retaining walls have been constructed. Everything's really coming together very nicely. Really, the only unknown at this point is the weather forward and just when the asphalt plants are going to reopen. So I don't think any of that will interfere with the use of the stadium itself, but we are moving along. And then finally, I just want to show you some updates of some photos that I believe Mr. Coffey provided Dr. Joyce to some of that reused planking, and been put to good use throughout some of the parks within the city. We continue to have progress meetings that Butch runs on the stadium. If anyone's around wants to attend those, we probably only have about 2 more left. So that is a regularly scheduled meeting, and Mr. Howard and Ken Keister and a number of other, Greg, Wade, everybody there are all there, and we get everybody's input and make sure we're not making any decisions in a vacuum. So things are moving along well, and it's been a great collaborative effort. So I'm going to walk you through several photos here just because I spent so much time trying to explain how this was going to take place. I presented the school board December 13th, I think it was, somewhere in that neighborhood. This was a week after. You can see some of the site work had already taken place, and if you look around on the you can see various holes cut into the stadium where the caissons for the foundations, each one of those is about 14 feet deep, and there's one line down this way. You can see them sticking up here. They haven't been set all the way. And then another line here, and that kind of forms a bridge that will support the whole bleacher structure. You can see better shot of the distribution of where each ones of those were cut in, and they're pouring the concrete into those caissons, and that's the whole structure. It's standalone. It's separate from what's there right now. We're able to leave in place and not have to pay to remove and demolish and remove the existing concrete that's there. And you can see just how close a tolerance to keep this stadium as low as possible. I mean, there's about an inch space there in that lower left photo of how the supporting beams are resting on the caissons, but not on the existing bleachers. You see that's one of the stair stringers there on the right side, and that's what goes all the way down across spanning on those beams. Over on the visitor side, you can see some of the work where the old access to that tiny platform, which was supposedly the handicap space, that's all being reworked. New ramps that's going to traverse that hillside with a new stairway coming down the hill. And as I said, the crew that's been out there, they've just been really dedicated, and snowing. And I was out there today, and it was a lot colder than I thought it was going to be, because this is what I was wearing. And it was, that wind was a howling. And those guys have been out there day and night and working Saturdays, and this is what they do, and they're doing it well. You can see a little more progression of the work on the visitor side. I do want to point out, I don't want to say you're on borrowed time, but I will say that we didn't start this job any time too early. I mean, there's some of the work, particularly on the visitor side, when they were cutting in for the caissons, it was just, it collapsed. Those pieces broke out. I mean, I recognize, of course, that we created a break in the structure itself, but there's many areas that were in pretty poor condition, particularly on which was not visible, but on the visitor side. Again, you can see some of the work on the lower left with a new walkway or rampway up to the home side. Progression on the lower right there. New concrete in place going up there. There's going to be another. You can barely discern it from the photo, but there is a handicap ramp that's built into that. It's a slightly different ramp, and it'll be separated with a handrail there. And you see the beginnings of the ramp on the visitor side here and the new retaining wall. And this is at the top of the visitor side where, again, ramp, there'll be stairs and a turn down to the handicap ramp as we move along. So again, things are moving along very, very well. You see at the top here now, our goal was to make this an at-grade entrance, so that you can see that at the very top. Now, smooth transition at the existing that's here right now, straight in. This is distributed handicap seating and get the term, accompany seating that goes with that along the back there. It's the only place that there's actual backrests. And I'll show you a few shots here. You can see now we have handrails going down the stairs. You can see the color differentiation at the stairs. That's where the Radford Aztec Gold is on the front of those risers. Otherwise, all the risers are black, and the back of those seats at the top are gold. Trying to explain how we're going to close things in, because we dropped this in basically between the existing brick walls, but that small gap you see in the third photo is where the posts will be anchored for the black vinyl fencing down the side to keep anyone from going over. So it'll tuck everything in between that existing perimeter. And then finally, the lower right there, that's where that portion of wall needs to come out, and there'll be a stair there and a new landing. We're actually working on some details on that landing now because of that grade. I think we're going to want to expand that a little bit and get a small retaining wall in there to help control the water getting down onto the track area. So it's really moving. Those are my highlight pictures. I buzz right over. These are this morning, okay? They might be focused because I was shaking. It's so cold and wind blowing. But you get a good sense of things. And I mean, I know there's concerns about the hollow feeling and the noise. It's really very sturdy, and I really look forward to you all getting a chance to get over there and walk on it. And it's a very, it's not like your traditional metal bleachers. And the fact that it's built into what we have as a good base, I think that just contributes to it overall. But again, having that flush entrance from the top, I think it still feels very built in. I do want to talk a little bit about that top. You see that lower left-hand corner. I keep using my pointer, but it doesn't work on the screen. The fence that's here, which I know is pretty, for all the events that I've attended, I bet you half of them I've only stayed at the fence line because you don't want to feel trapped down below, but you have a short period of time to be in and out. But it's a big social area as well. Initially, that was to come out, and we're leaning towards trying to leave it in there for a couple of reasons. One, I don't see why it has to come out, but it has a history. But I would like to upgrade it, maybe just change the fencing itself to the similar black vinyl, maybe the post there. But also, we've noticed, if you look closely, where that concrete comes together, it really varies in height, so it would be a tripping hazard if we took it out. It could be as much as 1.5 inches to almost flush. And we could address that, but I'd be concerned it wouldn't last. And I think it's just been such a part of the stadium, that concourse area and that separation. I think it'd be something worth keeping. So we're looking into that, and we're getting a price right now to see what it'd be to just dress it up a little bit, make it a little nicer. Quick update on where we are on the budget. Very little change from December. Everything is still on task, no surprises. We talked about that small change order of a little additional concrete back in December. It's been added. That's that $2,000 highlighted item there. All we've done is taken it out of contingency, so we're still well below our approved budget. You can see what's been paid to date. What's remaining on the grandstand portion is about $50,000, and it's all labor at this point, all the materials on site, and then about a third or so of the third to a quarter of the site improvements that have been billed so far. So no surprises there. As I said, I think we'll be coming back with a recommendation to improve the landing at that stair. But everything still should be well within our contingencies that we have. Update on the project schedule. This is what I shared with everybody back in December. Today's date's the blue dashed line there, and the stars in the bottom 3 items are about either where things were completed or what we're projecting them to be completed. And as I said, really the only unknown at this point is the weather and when the asphalt plants will finish, because the area around the concessions, the bottom of the ramp, that is all going to be new asphalt in there. And then on the visitor side where you enter, we got to put in those new handicap parking spaces. So I think even if with our spring sports that we can work around those things if we have to, but the stadium itself should not be an issue at all. We should be up and running in good shape. I've not had a chance to confirm these dates, but they are from the VHSL website on the schedules. We're in very good shape there. The girls soccer, their first game's March 5th, but they don't have a home game until the 25th of March, which hopefully we're out of there, okay? And then boys, they start a little earlier. That there could be some issues with that paving, but expect the stadium proper, the bleachers all to be in place. And is this right? There's no home.
I don't think we'll have home track meets this year.
Okay, I know that we've had discussions about the scheduling and getting practice in there and that kind of thing, and just the condition of the track, because everyone knows we're talking about the replacement of that, but wanted to get this project behind us before undertaking that project. So I know Ken and Mr. Wade and others are already talking with the city a little bit, and Parks and Rec about the potential for some of the grants that we knew were identified that could be sought after this year. They weren't available last year related to the track. So that's certainly the next thing in line here. As I said, a couple things that we want you to consider with some of the contingencies is, and I think this is something maybe you want to get someone else local here to do this, would be the cleaning of that existing brick wall. I don't think you need to add that extra markup that would go through the general contract. Of course, once you clean it, you'll probably find that we've got to do some repointing there as well. But that part will be exposed. We'll still be seeing that, so we don't have to worry about the insides, but the outsides on both sides will need to be addressed. there's a better view of the fencing. You can see how much, there's actually more space on the field side of that fence, but you can kind of see a dark shadow at the base of that fence, and where it's darker, that's where there's a bigger lip. So another reason to leave that fencing. But I think Butch recommended we replace that top pipe with a black one, and then go with the black vinyl fencing. I think we'll be in good shape. Again, thank you for these photos. I did have some previous or before photos to show you what was there before, and you can see down at the left there, those were the bleachers at Veterans Field. Upper right, that's right out back here at Dobbins Field, where they've been replaced, and then good old Hodge Field, and those walls, those are actually attached right on top of the wall there. They're fixed. So put the good use there, and as you recall, the grandstand design donated those to the school system. So I'm not sure who all was responsible for getting them installed, but looks great. Glad to see it. Before we go on to the other high school projects and let Butch fill you in on those things, any questions about the stadium itself, or where things stand, or how the construction's going? Or?
That's great.
Yeah, Jack, I just want to say it looks fantastic, and on behalf of many of the folks who do hang out at the fence line, thank you for keeping that. It is a thing. I mean, if you're there, you know, it is. You're right. I mean, it's, even as a volunteer, I'm either at the track or at the fence. So I appreciate that, being able to stick around.
That's a part of the culture of the stadium, I think, right? So yeah. I think it's a good thing to retain.
It's, the partnership with the city, actually, big thank you to Parks and Rec, as well as Seth Gillespie. He was instrumental with working with us on the board and the council of the city for getting that installed. And actually, I think they had Grandstand do the install for them.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so they worked it out with them. It was a great opportunity.
Well, they had the right guys. They know what they're doing. All right, I'm going to turn things over to Butch and let him fill you in on the other projects that are almost finished.
All right. Yeah, mine may not be as exciting. We've been seeing these for a few months, but they're coming down. We have had great contractors, good working relationships with them. And so just a lot of these pictures you may have seen before. The gym project is still coming in March. The locker rooms are pretty well coming down. Second floor has been operational for a while. First floor in the boys is nearing pretty much completing this week. The classroom, HVAC, the bar units are complete. Science rooms are complete, just working on getting an emergency shower in the chemistry lab at this point. This is just something that went in since we last presented. On the left are those are the bar units in the gym classrooms, and then the little mini splits down on the first floor are for the other side rooms there. And second floor, I think I showed this 2 months ago. Told Jack, I said, it's the same picture. I haven't been up there because it's operational, so kind of stay away. Don't have somebody for escort. That's right. But the boys this is the boys. This was today. It's pretty much ready there. The only thing remaining is the showers. There's stainless steel covers that they're putting in right now. Those were made locally, and they hope to be finished tomorrow or the next day. And of course, then just the sinks and the toilets. Jack was asking, it's like, should have had a before picture. I don't know if anybody's been there, I really should have had it before. And any questions? That's really what we have on those coming down. So
I have one. Those units there on the outside, I'm hearing they're broken already, not operational.
I think there's some warranty issues with them. I know for the ventilation, and they're working on that. I think on the ones, I think these are okay. I know they had one in one of the science rooms they had to work on. The ones I understand are over at the locker rooms. They had to add ventilate. The vent stacks they've got to contend with that. With the they had like a downdraft. Was it a weekend or something? I know they had some issues. So
the warranty work, is it fast or is it going to be a while?
It should be in process right now. I'll make sure, but understood, talking to Rick last week, I was thinking they have everything in the works, so.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions?
Okay.
The only last thing is the chemistry lab.
Yes, that's the shower, the emergency shower, yep. It's all together, so.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you both very much.
Thank you. Where's that going?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, under the other agenda item, under other, I would like to ask Ms. Denny to speak briefly about some information on updating some course offerings at the high school.
We have, right now we have two courses, two new courses that'll be offered. So Mr. Roberts teaches civil engineering and architecture PLTW course right now. It's not a sequence, and so he took the training this past winter so that he can teach the intro to engineering design. So we'll have a sequence with engineering beginning next year. So the new course is actually the first course in the series. We already teach the second. And then the other one on the back is the Virginia Teachers for Tomorrow 2. We've had a 1 this year, and we want to include a 2 for next year so that we can continue that. So those are the only courses right now.
It's fantastic. All right.
Questions about the course offerings?
That looked great.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's all I have.
All righty. Moving on to reports of board members. Anyone have any reports to share with us?
Just a quick update. We had had a meeting at New River Community College this past week. Pat Huber, Dr. Huber, had let us know that she is hoping to retire at the end of the year after many years of service. So the board is actually now working with the chancellor at the state level, Dr. Dore, to start seeking a replacement person for Dr. Huber. So that's where we're at right now. Overall reports, the school's doing great. They're excited about the governor-school partnership continuing as it has. It seems like everyone's having a good time on campus until Dr. Huber dropped us with, by the way, I want to retire. So she'll certainly be missed, and I know I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that, but our partnership with NRCC is a valuable one, and we're hoping to continue that in the future with whomever our new president at NRCC is going to be.
Very good. I'll piggyback on top of that. We just had the Southwest Virginia Governor School Science Fair a week or so ago, and we had we had more than that. We had all 6 of our students who were there at the Governor's School did a wonderful job. We have 3 of the students got some recognitions. We have Trent Hollinsworth got honorable mention in biomedical and health sciences for the effects of excess fatty acids on axilla and thioalcohol production. So great job, Trent. My kiddo, James Reif, got 2nd place in psychology, learning, and perception for the number pad test, a digital evolution. And I always say her name wrong, Ghana Gonheim, but it's not Ghana. Jenna Gonheim, thank you. Got 1st place in statistics for the Impact of Every Student Succeeds Act on American Mathematics Competition 10 scores. So they will move on to the next level of science fair, and we wish them well and are proud of all of our students who work so hard to put together these projects.
That exhibit was, it just blew me away.
It's way over my head.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm in awe.
I couldn't figure it out. I was just going to say, last month I was able to attend a school board member summit sponsored by the Noah Webster Educational Foundation, and many amazing speakers, so much information, about topics and issues that all school divisions are facing. And so I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm always happy to share, and hopefully it will make me a more informed school board member.
All right, and I'll just add one last thing. There's been a public call put out to support getting state rings for our football team. We have our Bobcat boosters who help make sure that every student who is a state winner, not just football, but our academics and athletics should all get a ring for going the full distance. So there's information online. Elizabeth Knipe has shared some things. I'm not sure if you're following the football page. It's been sort of shared a number of places. But so there's a way to be able to donate money towards those rings to help celebrate all those guys. So if you're able to, please do. All right, anybody else? Anything else? All right, action items. Are we all prepared to move on with the school calendar? Do we want to hold off and take a look and see what questions we have for next month?
If the teachers like it, then who am I to question that? Yeah.
Are we okay? All right. Do I have a motion to approve the 2024-25 school calendar and 24-25 draft 2 information?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Let's move on and get ready for it's weird right in the middle of the school year to be getting, gearing up for next school year, but there's so much planning involved, and there's so much work that our staff is doing. And so thank you so much for putting this together. And so this is just for the calendar. This is not for the bell schedule and all of that. That will come, but this is for the calendar so people can make plans. Excellent. All right. Do we have no other action items are needed tonight? We don't need to approve those courses. They just are? Or do we have to approve the courses?
You certainly can.
All right.
Certainly can.
I think we have in the past.
I think we have in the past too. All right, do I have a motion to approve? Do I need to do it separately for each class or the 3 classes as presented?
Only 2.
2, right.
The sequence is on there for the engineering, but it's the intro to engineering and
Okay.
the Virginia Teacher Tomorrow 2.
Okay, so 2 courses. All right, do I have a motion to approve the 2 courses as presented for the 24-25 school year?
So moved.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks so much. We love having great options for our kids to sink their teeth into. Do you have anything else? All right, we need a closed meeting. Dr. Ray?
I don't think everyone knows how excited I am about this, not me. 8 pages long. Madam Chair, I move that the board convene in closed session pursuant to section 2.2-3711A1 to discuss the appointment, resignation, retirement, and leave of employees of the school board, discussion of the award of a public contract involving the expenditure of public funds, and discussion of the terms or scope of such contract where discussion in an open session would adversely affect the bargaining position of negotiating strategy of the public body as well as admission of students.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Third.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, thanks so much. We are enclosed. Thank you all for coming.
I'll just split it up. It didn't even matter.
All right, are we ready? Stacy, are we ready? Okay. I need a motion to convene in regular session.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. May we please have a certification of the closed meeting, Dr. Ray?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we certify closed session for reason number 1, to discuss the appointment, resignation, retirement, and leave of employees of the school board, discussion of the award of a public contract involving the expenditure of public funds, and discussion of the terms or scope of such contract where discussion in an open session would adversely affect the bargaining position of negotiating strategy of the public body as well as admission of students.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, personnel matters. Do I have a motion to approve personnel matters 1.0?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And tuition students, can I have a motion to approve tuition student report 1.0?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, our date for our next regular board meeting is March 12th, 2024, here at the School Board Administration Building at 6 p.m. Thanks so much. Good evening.